Breaking Mega News! After waiting a little over a year, the last game in the holy trinity of Rockman Japanese feature phone games is finally playable in English, thanks to an English translation patch that was just released by Mega Alex. This is not a drill, folks. Rockman Dash Great Adventure on 5 Islands, the previously lost Mega Man Legends title, in English. Let's talk about it and give you a quick and dirty rundown of how you can play the game today. Welcome back to Mega News. I'm ShadowRock. You know, it's funny. In the last Mega News video, I was just talking about how when Capcom doesn't do anything for Mega Man, usually it's up to the fans to carry the torch and keep the series alive, and that's exactly what we're seeing today. Just a couple of days ago, Nintendo held a surprise Final Nintendo Direct for Switch 1, and notably there was no Mega Man there. Honestly, I 100% expected that. I don't even think we'll get anything at the Switch 2 Direct, it's just too soon. So in the meantime, how about playing an old but new to us Mega Man Legends title? Right at the end of 2023, the Scilab Secrets team had successfully preserved a ton of different Rockman Japanese feature phone games that were part of the iMode Ketai service, but were sadly lost to time when the service got shut down. There was a bunch of small experiences, but among them were actually huge experiences, especially considering the hardware, such as Rockman EXE, Phantom of Network, and Legend of Network, that were full-on new Mega Man Battle Network games that even played a lot like their GBA counterparts, at least the battle system did. You could call these games Battle Network 3.5 and 5.5 respectively, and we just got English translation patches for those two at the back half of last year thanks to the Rockman EXE zone. I made a tutorial video on how to get those set up if you're interested. The last game to complete the Holy Trinity was Rockman Dash Great Adventure on 5 Islands, a Mega Man Legends game that spans 5 chapters, one for each island, and in a similar vein to the Rockman EXE games, you explore the overworld through static screens, talk to NPCs, but when you get into the actual dungeons, the gameplay is as faithful as you can possibly get on an old flip phone. It's really impressive too because you're in a 3D environment, moving around, opening treasure chests, gunning down enemies, lock-on, strafing, and all of the other Legends tropes that you would expect, like crafting new special weapons to take into dungeons, doing a ton of side quests that NPCs give you, and a full-on storyline to enjoy that involves all of your favorite Legends characters. Maybe not a mind-blowing story, but one that invokes the adventurous spirit of the series. Furthermore, Rockman Cosmo, the leader of Scilab Secrets who has been directing all these preservation efforts behind the scenes, writes on Rockman Corner that, having now played the English translation patch, the writing does nail the series' style and characters, making it feel like reuniting with old friends. End quote. Speaking of, I am going to leave this Rockman Corner article in the description below because it has a lot of details on the development that sounds like it was a lot of hard work to even get to this point, as well as instructions on how to get set up, as well as gameplay tips to help you enjoy the game to the fullest, and get past one of the shortcomings of the emulation space for these Ketai games, notably for 5 Islands. Sometimes the sound does stutter, so you'll want to go to the map screen and the options menu if you want to reset the background music. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna have the article in the description, as well as the download link to the launcher that Yuvi developed, but while we're here, I'm gonna give you the Spark Notes. When it comes to the development of the English patch, the truth is, the 5 Islands cutscenes were already translated 10 years ago by Midori. And I remember around that time period, the Mega Man Legends 3 fan group, Get Me Off the Moon, were posting gameplay footage, English translated scenes, and even fan dubs of the game on their YouTube channel. And really, for the longest time, that was the only way we could experience the storyline because we didn't have the game playable But as soon as Scilab Secrets made that possible at the end of 2023, it wasn't too long until Mega Alex got started building an English patch. For this patch, Midori's work is used as a base, but translating menus and NPC dialogue had to be done from scratch. Now you might be wondering, if the English translation was done a long time ago, how did this take a whole year to come out? And that's because the true hard part of making this patch was editing the files, some of which Mega Alex had to edit byte by byte in a hex editor. Space limitations created by the fact that Japanese characters are much smaller than English words was another hurdle that Mega Alex faced, but thankfully Yuvi stepped in to modify the string lengths for longer text. All said and done, the patch took 7 months to complete. Meanwhile, Rocketman Cosmo commissioned Cargodin to create new artwork for the patch. That looks absolutely stunning, as if it was official box art from Capcom. He also commissioned SprinqGueen to create a new logo. That also looks incredible. Now that we've talked about the game itself and the dev work that's gone into this patch, how do you play it anyways? The first step is you're going to need to download the Ketai World Launcher that was developed by Yuvi, which is intended to run on Windows 10 and 11. After that, extract the files to your C drive, and this next part is incredibly important. Make sure you run the program as an administrator on first launch, or you might run into some problems. You're also going to need Java, which the program will provide a link to download that if you don't have it. Once you load up the program and it downloads all the necessary files, you can search for 5 islands in the search bar. There you can select between 2 versions of the patch that Mega Alex created. The only difference between the two being if you want the original Japanese names or the localized English names. Once you select whether you want Rockman or Mega Man, simply select the patch you want and launch the game. And well, there you go. Now, it is recommended that you use a controller while playing this game because, it's a whole 3D space that you're working with in the dungeons. And let's be real, the original controls are clunky because of the way it was developed for a flip phone. To set up the controller, the launcher you downloaded does include a gamepad mapper known as Key2Pad, so you can map your controls. The Rockman Corner article does include a link to a sample keypad layout from Mega Alex that you can load into the game. After you get that set up, you're off to the races. I am not 100% sure yet if you can get this running on a Steam Deck, but I'm sure someone's gonna try it very soon here, if not already. But I will say, Yuvi's new launcher does make running these Ketai games a lot easier than what was possible when these games were initially preserved. So it's great to see that advancements are being made in the Ketai emulation space. Just remember that the sound can still stutter, so definitely access the options menu via the map screen so you can reset the background music. And when you start out, the game window may be too small for you, so if you want to make it bigger, use the shader glass option for that. And lastly, here's some gameplay tips that the team shared. The most important being that you need to talk to NPCs often, especially if you're going for 100% completion, because their dialogue changes after every mission. And if you don't talk to the NPCs at certain times, it's going to mess up your side quests. Also keep in mind that some items that you find in the dungeons are meant to be given to NPCs for quests. Furthermore, keep in mind that even though you move on to a new island for each chapter of the game, you can still backtrack to previous islands if you want to, and this is actually required for some of the quests. One more thing to keep in the back of your mind, there are 2 types of breakable walls in the dungeons, each requiring a different special weapon to destroy. And with that, we're pretty much done here. I just want to give a big shout out and thank you to Scilab Secrets for preserving all these games in the first place. Everyone who has been involved in making all these English patches for the EXE games and now 5 Islands, and everyone else who has been involved in this journey of getting all these lost Rockman games into the hands of Western players. It's been a long journey. In fact, it's been a pipe dream that I never thought in a million years would ever happen. Ever. Yet, here we are through the dedication and hard work of a lot of people. That dream has become a reality. So guys, in the comments, thankfully give your thanks to all these people that made this possible. And other than that, what are you still doing here? Go play Rockman Dash 5 Islands already. It may not be Legends 3, but it's a new Legends game, dang it. So I'm gonna leave you all alone and let you get to that. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching, everyone. Stay tuned to ShadowRockZX for more on Mega Man in general, including possibly some live streams of this very English patch in the near future. I post new stream schedules every Sunday, so stay tuned on the community tab and social media for that. Until then, thank you to all who support the channel, including our channel members, and I will see you in the next one. Rock on and have yourselves a great time zone.